like typed, it was physically like a keyboard that and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right, because you're trying to make it that much harder to crack it.
Because I was able to crack any passcode. I was very good at it. But
the FBI should hire you.
I completely agree.
Abby's like, I've applied. What is up, Boston Baddies? It's your favorite main bitch, Shannon, and your favorite side hoe, Abby, with drinks after work.
Oh, hell no. No. It's your favorite Boston Baddies back at it again with another
no, you can't do that. Cut. I'm kidding.
If you're new here, thanks for joining us. Follow us on social media while you're at it. I promise you won't regret it. If you do, just keep following us. It's at drinksafterwork_, and then on TikTok at drinksafterwork, no underscore. And if you aren't new here, thanks again for joining us for another episode of Drinks After Work with your hosts, Shannen and Abby.
Speaking of TikTok, we've been trying to upload a TikTok for like 3 days now.
Dude, it's hard.
We're working through some technical difficulties.
I just don't know what I'm doing.
Is it gone better or no? Just
I gave up after like yesterday. I haven't tried it all today.
We should try it again.
I'm going to after this episode. Okay. But don't underestimate TikTok as a career because it is freaking hard.
I know. It's so hard. I like
and
always,
time consuming.
I like watch like tutorials on like how to do it. I don't know.
It's not easy.
I barely know how to use Instagram.
Yeah. That's why 99% of the time you see a story posted by us, it's me. Okay,
Abigail.
No, it's because I'm a control freak.
There's no need. I know. Well, if I post something, Abby's like, delete that. I don't like it.
Okay, anyways, we are coming off of a fun-packed weekend.
Yeah. Definitely a bender. It was a lot of highs, a lot of lows. It was all in all, it was fun. It was good.
It was. I couldn't tell you guys last week, but this weekend I did throw a surprise birthday party for Mystery Man on Saturday night. So we told you guys that we were going to the Grand Friday night, which was dope. We shout out to Clint for paying for our friend Caitlin to come out on a surfboard. Like
that was insane. Literally, we're like at the Grand, like at our table minding our own business. All of a sudden you see Caitlin, so she's moving to Charlotte. I don't know if we've said that yet. So one of our best friends, Caitlin, she decided she's going to take the plunge, move away from Boston, at least for now. She's moving down to Charlotte. We have like a big group of friends down there, so super exciting for her. She's gonna have a really fun time. We're all upset about it, but obviously good. It's gonna be awesome. So it was kind of like a half mystery.
I love how you tried to get that out. You're like, I'm happy for you, but I also fucking hate you for leaving me.
I know. I was like,
the way that you just said that, you're like, I'm still salty.
Like I was like a little bit like,
for you.
I'm so happy for her. So we had like a little quasi half birthday party for Mystery Man, half going away party for Caitlin, and all of a sudden we turn around and there's like a bunch of people carrying a surfboard.
There was one bottle girl on the surfboard with her, I'm pretty sure.
And she's
and
like
then a bunch following her.
On the surfboard, just being carried through the Grand. We were like, what the fuck? What?
It was the best thing I've ever
seen. But Clint, like our friend Clint arranged the whole thing, and I was like, what did he get? Like a list of options, and it was like carried on surfboard. Like, how does that even work? I didn't know that was
he bought a bottle of champagne, a very expensive bottle of champagne, so I think they kind of like
let him
do it. Yeah,
do that. Okay, cool.
Shout out to the Grand.
It was so fun.
But so that was Friday night, and then Saturday through, like I said, a surprise birthday party at Tall Ship, which honestly I highly recommend everyone go at least once.
It was so nice there, like really good vibes. It was awesome. It was like a beer garden / like table / like had like New York vibes and kind of Miami vibes. It was cool. I liked it.
Honestly,
awesome.
I don't recommend waiting in line to get in. You honestly couldn't pay me to wait in that line, but I did reserve the table like maybe like 3 or so weeks in advance, but that you can get like a private table. How many times did I just say
a table and like a table? It's like a table.
It's like a table.
It's basically.
It's only a $500 minimum table, and it comes with like bottle service at the table.
It was a great table.
It was a great table, full of great people
at the table.
At the table.
But honestly, if you get like you can have like 10, 15 people there, and it's like a $500 minimum. I know we sound like bratty, but it evens out to like we spent under $100 each. Yeah, if you get like 2 or 3 drinks there, you're already spending more than that. So there was people who were waiting in line for like 2 hours. I saw this group of girls that were like, we gave up after 2 hours of waiting. So definitely, if you're gonna go, recommend getting some sort of like a table bottle service type thing there. It's so fun.
And you can get we got individual mudslides, which I highly recommend. They were amazing. So good. And then you can get like not a pitcher, it's like the one of those huge things that you see at like Marielle or like Yvonne's. I don't know, a huge thing.
It's so good.
Mai Tai, sangria, margarita is a huge thing of. So definitely go check them out. It's definitely not worth the wait, but it's definitely worth getting a table in advance.
Yeah, 100%. And then after that, I went to Chow Roma in the North End for my friend's birthday dinner, which was a blast. And then we went to like some random like pregame in the North End, and then like we ended up at the Wild Rover. I don't know. It was just
did you? I was wondering where that was.
It was just kind of it was a lot, but it was so fun. It was awesome.
How is Chow Roma?
I've
never been there.
I love it there.
What did you get?
Good. I got like the shrimp scampi, but I've been before and get the like cacio de pepe or whatever. So good. Like good portions. Like it's not too big. Okay. And like their marketing's very on point. Like they have like a lot of like light pink undertones.
Oh,
and it's like right in like the square area. Like it's not really on like the main strip. I feel like you'd actually really like it. Okay. You kind of feel like you're in Italy when you're there.
Okay.
Cute.
I love
that was awesome, but it was a really fun weekend. We did a ton of stuff, ton of eating, drinking, one trip to the ER, but that's fine. We don't have to get into that. We'll cover that another day.
God. Can never just, have nice things in life.
Nothing better than walking home from Mass General back to my apartment building at 4 a.m. But anyways, alas, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was. So happy birthday, Mystery Man. No one invite me to do anything for the next 1 to 2 weeks because I'm done drinking.
We've retired. We're done.
Okay, let's drunk into drunk
drunk deeds.
Let's dive into drunk deeds. What's happening?
Okay, so the Donda album,
aka Kanye West album, for anyone who lives under a rock.
She is still not out.
Where the hell is she?
I don't know. I'd love to know where she is. Feel like
this is like the second time he's postponed it.
I don't know what's going on, but this album better be the best album that has ever graced existence ever.
It probably won't be. That's the sad part.
Kanye West has been, as we know, we talked about this a few weeks ago, staying at the arena, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Staples. I don't know. One of the stadiums. He's been sleeping there, staying there, recording there. The whole idea was that he was supposed to be there to finish up his album. He wanted to be like surrounded by like the whatever, like so he could focus. So this whole time he's been like there where there's friends coming, he's having listening parties, getting suspended like hundreds of feet up in the air. Everyone's like, oh my God, Kanye West is flying. He wasn't. He was just being suspended. Other people have done it before, but he's literally like all the theatrics, and people are like, he's finally going to release it. Well, someone on his team actually tweeted out, they ended up deleting it, but they tweeted out saying that they are actually moving, they're moving stadiums.
For what reason?
He's like, we're gonna be moving stadiums. And then I guess everyone started freaking out. So the guy deleted it. So what people think is going to happen is that Kanye now wants to go to a different stadium to do the same shit
in a different state. Do we know?
I know his whole thing was very like artistic. Like, I'm going to stay in the stadium and just like focus on my album. But like, it's still not out. So now they might move stadiums. And people are saying, well, if that happens, he might have like another listening party or whatever. And it's like, that would be his third one. But at that point, I forget who said this. Someone said it. They were like, at that point, it's not a listening party. It is a tour. He is going on tour for an album that does not exist. This man has literally had so many people come, made so many performances, done so much for something that doesn't exist. There's no album. Where is the album? There's no help. He's done everything other than create the album.
Allegedly. We don't know.
I don't know.
When is it? Does he have a date? Like at all?
So the date just got pushed back to August 15th. The release. I honestly don't see it happening.
That's this Sunday.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I don't buy it.
I feel like if they're Sunday's a weird day.
If they're moving stadiums, I just feel like people have hyped this album up so much, and like I wonder, like, do you think the hype will last? for that long.
I mean, I'm over it. I could care less.
You're over it.
Yeah. So let's move on. He doesn't deserve another second of our time. That was me.
I mean, I've always kind of had a soft spot for Kanye West, but I'm just kind of like,
me too, because I like people that that get shit on. Like everyone thinks
like
that he's crazy.
Edgy. Yeah, like
no, he's just misunderstood.
Like what's going on? Yeah, I kind of do like that. People that did end up releasing their album, Billie Eilish, Happier Than Ever. Eyelash, whatever. Happier Than Ever did debut at number 1. So,
do you think like you're really happier than ever if you have to say you're happier than ever?
That's a really great point. Right? I've listened to a little bit of the album. I think it's decent. I feel like everyone is do you like Billie Eilish?
I like a select few songs. I'm not like a ride or die. Like I didn't even know she had a new album coming out. So if that goes to show anything, but she has a few like bangers. And when I say bangers, I mean like music that I'll cry my eyes out to. But
yeah, it's like this very specific genre of like, I listen to this when I'm like, I don't know, like going through a breakup or
she's something else though. She's extremely talented. I will give her that, but it's just not like my go-to music.
I feel like there's so many people out there that are like Billie Eilish, like that's all I listen to. And I'm like, I couldn't only listen to that music all the time. Like I need to listen to something a little bit more like
no, because I would not be happier than ever.
I also don't really love the whole like creepy, like crying blood, spider in my mouth thing. Like
her music videos, I can't.
It's scary.
They're dope, but I can't terrified. Look at them. Yeah,
I get like nightmares from her music videos. Like I can't watch them.
Yeah,
I get nightmares from most things, but
I respect the art, but I'm good.
Anyways, if you guys did listen to Billie Eilish's album, let us know your thoughts. I'll have to like actually sit down and listen to the whole thing.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of artists are like they're like, don't even listen to my album if you can't like listen to it through, like from the first song to
I
the
think
last.
if I like had any musical talent, I'd probably be the same way. Like no, like sit down and listen to it. Because honestly, if you think about it, albums like kind of like tell a story sometimes.
Like a flow.
Like if you listen to it from start to finish.
I forget whose album it was.
Taylor Swift?
I think it was I think it was like Mike Posner, who I love him. Mm-hmm. But he came up with an album like a year and a half, 2 years ago when he was like walking across the US. And he was like, this album is meant to be listened to all at once. If you can't do that right now, please kindly turn it off and like find some time when you can do that. Wow. He's like, I'd rather you listen to it like none of it or all of it, or like just don't fucking listen, basically is what
okay.
I was like, okay, dude.
While we're on the subject of
jobs.
Some of us have a life and jobs, yeah. While we're on the subject of music though, Big Night Media has a newer podcast called Music You're Missing, and it's quite literally just that, music that you're missing. So if you guys, are more passionate about music than we are, you should go check them out.
Yeah,
it's literally about music you're missing. It might be, you might find your new favorite artist. Who knows?
It's so true though, because like you ever I have this Shazam app, and I feel like I always like hear songs I like in the most like random times. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I love this so much. Like I'll be like,
honestly,
I've
seen you try to low key do it in like Ubers. Like I see you whip out.
Try to act like no one, like everyone knows what I'm doing. But I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like hide my phone and pretend like I'm not.
Just
Shazamming.
Ask the Uber driver, hey, what song is this? What does your screen say?
Just Shazam it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like acting so discreet. I know it's embarrassing. It's fine. Okay, and then our last drunk deed. So this is not so much a drunk deed and more just like a classic. I don't really know what. So Maxwell Berry,
who's that?
He is a 22-year-old douchebag that lives in Ohio. He decides to board a Frontier flight the other day. I think he was going to Miami, I believe. He proceeds to get intoxicated on the flight. One thing leads to another. He's groping the flight attendant. He's grabbing her boobs.
Wait, is this what I posted on my Insta story? You probably wouldn't know the TikTok that I posted.
Probably, yeah, I think so.
From the flight attendant from that airline who duct taped him? Are you about to say that? Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So Maxwell Berry, you go, dude.
Literally is like groping these flight attendants, just like being a complete drunk asshole. Obviously, they're trying to get him to stop. He's like screaming at the flight. He's like, "You guys are a bunch of assholes!" Like freaking out. I think he was like saying shit about like having money. I think his parents have like $1 million or something, which I'm like, okay, sick. You're flying Frontier, dude. Like it's gonna be okay. So, anyways, he's just like causing a huge scene. Male flight attendant comes up. He's trying to help. punches him in the face. Eventually, the flight attendants decide they're like, we are going to grab this man and like barricade him into his seat. They like take duct tape, like basically gag the guy back into his seat, like thrust him against the thing. They're like, sit there. He's like gagged like against like the seat for the rest of the flight. And then he proceeds to go on and be a little bitch boy and like complain about it. He's like, it was the most dehumanizing experience like I've ever. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure the flight attendant that you groped probably saying the same thing. You fucking pig.
Literally. I don't understand what is wrong with people.
Wait, I didn't know who that was, but I literally shared that TikTok on my Instagram. It was too good not to share. Maybe we'll share it on our Drinks account Instagram story because it is hilarious. The guy telling the story of it.
I don't understand. Like, never in my life have I, like, I've had a few drinks on planes, but never in my life would I like resort to not only sexual assault, but also violence.
Violence. I didn't know he was violent. That's not good.
Max. Also, don't you feel like Maxwell Berry is like the biggest douchebag name? Maxwell Berry.
I don't like the name Maxwell.
I feel like your name's Maxwell. Like that
sucks. I don't know what he's doing on Frontier.
I feel like he's someone that would introduce himself as like, hello, my name is Maxwell Berry.
Literally first and last name like he's Chuck Bass.
Oh, yes. I kind of wish I was like a first name, last namer though. Like, have you watched The Parent Trap?
Obviously.
You know Meredith Blake? Like,
yeah,
she's Meredith.
I love that.
Meredith Blake. She's like, hello, it's Meredith Blake. Like, I wish I was, you know, hello, it's Shannen and Abby.
Abby Cersei. Yeah,
hey, it's Abby Cersei.
It doesn't go.
No.
Damn.
Oh my gosh. But that's it for the drunk deeds this week, guys.
Yeah. Okay. So we kind of last minute put on our Insta story a Q&A, and it turned out to, you know,
we got some questions from people that
were more so advice.
Yes.
Related. Instead of asking us questions, they were asking questions to us. Does that make sense?
From us, by us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had quite a few people reach out to us just asking for advice, things that they're going through, they wanted us to touch upon. So we'll probably bring up some of these questions in future episodes as well. So we have like a little list written down, but there was one in particular that stuck out to us that we thought we definitely had to talk about.
I think we got triggered.
We did get triggered. I was like, bitch, I've been here before. We have to talk about it.
Yeah.
So this girl writes in, she says, Shannen and Abby, so I've been talking to this guy that I met at the bar who I really like. We've been talking for a few months now. We exchanged numbers at the bar, and when we exchanged numbers, he asked to add me on Snapchat.
Red flag.
I thought nothing of it, and I gave him my Snapchat. We've been talking for a while now, and he really only Snapchats me. If I do text him, he typically won't answer, but then a few hours later, he'll snap me back, like replying basically to replying to the text with a Snapchat.
Another red flag.
He also won't answer me for hours and is really weird about getting back to me. However, despite all of that, he has consistently continued to keep up with me and tells me how much he likes me, and that he really sees this going somewhere. Is this super sketchy, or am I reading too much into it? Thanks, guys.
So first off, I just want to say, if you have to submit that in, I think you know the answer. I think this guy is a sketchball, and you should stop talking to him immediately.
Yeah,
there's just so many red flags.
I feel like you could be listening to this, and maybe, not to generalize, I think maybe you're a guy listening to this, you're like, what's, like, that doesn't sound sketchy at all. I think we wanted to talk about it because it's such like a subtle little thing that like happens to so many people, but like I feel like there are genuine like red flags when it comes to someone being like sketchy or shady when you first start talking to them, that like, as someone who has talked to many people that have been really sketchy and shady, I feel like you can, like, from the outside looking in, you can totally identify it. So yeah, first off, asking for someone's Snapchat, I think, is a red flag. Like,
if a man's main form of communication is Snapchat, don't, like, no.
If a guy goes up to a bar and like you exchange numbers, fine, then that's that second he's like, what's your Snap? Like, let me add you on Snap. I think that's weird. Like, okay, if you've been talking to a guy for a few weeks and you guys have been texting, whatever, and eventually he's like, let me add you on Snapchat, like, okay, fine. But like in the same breath being like, let me, you know, what's your Snapchat? You have to wonder, like, what are they hiding? What does he want that? Right?
Because the messages go away on Snapchat.
That's the thing. Like, on Snapchat, it's literally meant for, I think Snapchat's meant for people that are sketchy. I really do. Because you're posting shit. Like, when people post stuff on their stories, like every friend of mine, they're like, I post the stuff on my Snapchat stories. I don't want people to see my Instagram stories because I might have like,
that's how I am.
You know, my mom, my dad, and like whoever else on my Instagram, but I don't have them on Snapchat. So I can post like, you know, sketchy, risky, whatever I'm doing on Snapchat. That's why people usually use it. So that's, you know, kind of the premise of it in the first place.
You're not wrong.
Then there's the fact that people, like, when they message you, like the messages erase. And it's like, I feel like it's a classic move of like a guy over text talking to a girl being super like, haha, yeah, like, nice to meet you. Like a work friend or something. And then at 3 a.m. he's like sliding into her Snapchat. He's like, yo, Shady, what you up to? Because he knows those messages are going to delete.
Oh, God. Yeah. The amount of times that I've literally been talking to someone via Snap and I can't remember what I said or what they said, and I literally text them, I'm like, wait, I can't do this via Snap, like, hello.
Right, exactly. And if you try to screenshot the messages,
they know,
they get alerted. Right. There used to be like a trick where they didn't, but I think that went away.
Remember when you could see Snapchat best friends? I really feel like Snapchat's making it extremely hard to catch people. Sketchy.
I know. Like, I wish that still happened.
Except for the number one thing is that the messages go away. That's a red flag. So if a man is only talking to you on Snapchat, or like majority of the time, I think that should cause suspicion. Rightfully so.
I think like by this message, so he's only Snapchatting you, which, okay, maybe he's a weirdo, but then you text him and he still proceeds to not answer your texts in Snapchat. That makes me feel like my gut is just telling me he's either in a relationship or he's married, or he's talking to maybe like a girl that like he's decently like maybe trying to date as well, and he doesn't want to have your messages pop up like on his text. So instead he probably has notifications off for his Snapchat and he's just looking to talk to you there. Like that's kind of what I feel. And then also like the whole like, oh, he disappears or like doesn't get back to me for a few days, like that to me also signals maybe he's talking to someone else.
Yeah, he's probably double dipping, but
I'd probably drop.
Yeah, I would drop him 100%, but I also would love to know more information about this guy. Like, is he also extremely weird with his phone? Like, not just like Snapchat. He's weird with texting, but how is he, like, I don't know if this girl said if they like have hung out recently, but like when they're in person together, is he weird with his phone? That's what I want to know. Because how a man is with his phone is like super
it's how
telling.
He will treat you.
Because literally Mystery Man couldn't care less if I went through his phone. Like, I know his phone password and I don't go through it because he doesn't act weird around his phone.
Yeah.
But it's 100%. Like however a man acts with his phone is going to tell you like his intentions and if he's doing sketchy stuff.
100%. No, you brought up a really good point. So what are like, so you think when it comes to like, I guess figuring out if someone's like being shady, sketchy, like looking for red flags, like what do you think are like the biggest things? Like the phone, right? Is definitely a big one. Just being weird.
I think if their phone is always on do not disturb, like they don't want their notifications popping up on their phone, that's a red flag.
That's something that someone told me like after I broke up with my high school boyfriend, because I don't know how to use this stuff in high school, but
I literally have to put your phone on do not disturb.
They were like, did you know that when you guys used to hang out, he would like put his phone on do not disturb? And I was like, no. Right? Because you don't want to get like texts from girls like when you're hanging out and you're like in the clear, basically. You won't get.
Did he cheat on you?
I mean, I would assume so. Like everyone told me he did.
Oh, really?
Never caught him though.
Damn.
Well, he was in college. It's hard to catch. When I was in high school.
Oh, you were.
I was a baby. It's fine. It was in the past, but yeah, so the do not disturb. So basically one way you can figure out if someone is using do not disturb is you can see the little moon like in the top hand corner. So someone thinks they're being like sly and they're like, haha, I'm just gonna put my phone on do not disturb. You can usually figure that out. However, with the new iPhones, you have to like slide down to find it. Yeah. So if you get a chance to just like thrust across and just slide down, and you can usually see if he has a little moon icon.
I know, but I feel like if someone is being sketchy with their phone, they're probably one to bring their phone with like them everywhere. Yeah. Which is also another red flag.
100%. I think a huge red flag is just like with phones in general. So like just pay attention. The person that you're with, how do they act with their telephone? Like I know everyone always jokes about like keeping the phone down. They're like, oh,
that's so real.
How to notice a sketchy person. Like, oh, do they always have their phone down? I always do have my phone down. So I don't. It's almost like muscle memory. I just put it down.
Muscle memory.
But maybe it's because in the past I was a sketchy person. You never know.
Hey, we all were.
But the phone down, I also just feel like, do they have like the grip of death around it at all times? Like, I've seen girls and guys who are like so paranoid of leaving their phone unattended. You'd think there was like some sort of like secret messages between the US and like Russia that they like want to make sure no one's intercepting. Like it's like that intense. Like a guy's like, all right, I want to go grab like a drink of water, and like they bring their phone with them, and like they like turn for a second, they grab their phone and like put it in front of them just in case anyone's about to intercept it. I feel like that's a huge red flag.
Oh, 100%. If they can't like leave their phone down and leave the room and like trust that like A, you're not going to go through it, or B, like some chick isn't going to hit them up while they're gone, then clearly they're hiding something, and you need to find a way to hack into his phone.
I remember when I was where are we going with freshman in college, I went to the Cape with like a bunch of my high school friends. I didn't want my high school ex-boyfriend, the same guy. Michael. I didn't tell him that I was going to the Cape. It was like a one-night trip. It was like spontaneous.
Why didn't you want him to know you're going to the Cape? I think that's a bigger
crazy. Problem. He like didn't want me to hang out with my friends. He like hated all of them. And I was like, you know what he doesn't know won't hurt him. So I went to the Cape with like 5 of my friends from high school, and we literally went for like the night. We like stayed with one of my friends like at their parents' house. Like it wasn't like a sketchy retreat. I just like didn't want to deal with it. So I like that happened, but like I just felt so guilty after, because not guilty because he was an asshole, but I had that in the back of my mind where I was like, I know that like there's probably like texts on my phone. There's definitely like information, definitely photos of me like on the Cape, and he'd be like, what the hell? Like, how didn't I know you were there? So I felt very like guarded with my phone. And he was also the type of guy that like would go through my phone. So I found myself like hiding it and stuff. Like he was like in my dorm room, and I like took my phone and like put it like disguised, like hid it under like a bunch of books like in my bookcase, like, and like walked out of the room and like came back, and like I would see him like looking for it and stuff. So
okay, I feel like those are two completely different scenarios. That's like dating a psycho person, and then the other situation, which this girl wrote in, is talking to someone who is sketchy. Yeah, you were sketchy because you were dating someone crazy who would overreact at a stupid thing. So true. I guess the point I'm trying to make is just like, I feel like when you have the inclination to just like, you want your phone to like literally be hidden, there's always a reason for it. Because if you have nothing to hide, like right now, like I have nothing to hide, I'm comfortable just leaving my phone around, because like there's nothing to find on it. Like what's gonna happen? Right. You know? I think that's a big one. All right, well, what about a privacy screen? Is that sketchy? I feel like unless you work for the FBI, why do you have a privacy screen on your phone?
What are you looking at on your phone? Yeah, that like people like, that's the privacy screen. So like when someone like can't like peer over your shoulder, right?
Yeah, like it could literally be like, because we're all guilty of it sitting on a plane. Like I 100% look at the person's phone next to me. Like I want to know who you're texting and what you're saying, because I'm nosy. But like I've literally seen people have privacy screens, and I'm like, what the hell do you do for a living? Seriously.
No, it's so true. And like I do get it maybe on an airplane, or maybe if it's like a work phone, fine.
Okay, but unless you work for the FBI, what the hell? I'm not going to be able to understand your forensics.
Yeah, like if
I'm financials.
Like if I'm sending a candidate like at a bill rate of like 135, like I don't give a shit if the person on the phone next to me sees, or
I don't know what that means.
No one knows what that means. That's a really good point, actually. Like, why do you care?
Why do you like?
Obviously,
what are you hiding?
I'm going to stalk the person sitting next to me, but like, I'm really just judging them in my head. That's fine. And like I know people are judging me when they like see me and I'm like whipping through like nothing educational, and I'm like scrolling in on
I'm watching TikToks and scrolling on Instagram on a flight, so relax.
Or I'm like scrolling into like a bikini pic of some girl trying to figure out where she photoshopped it.
You're zooming in.
Like, wait a second. That's usually what I'm doing. Classic. But yeah, no, I think privacy screen equals sketchy. I also think just like their passcode. I feel like if you're like, or if you're changing it, like if you're changing your passcode often, if like you're being really weird about like what your passcode, I mean, no, I will say there's a lot of people that are just like, I would never give my significant other my passcode, which I do respect that. Yeah, but I feel like if you're constantly like changing it and just doing like sketchy stuff, or like your passcode is like 20 digits long, that's sketchy.
Yes, I had an ex who literally his phone password at one point was like a word, like not like a numerical word, like it wasn't it wasn't like you
3115 could be,
like typed. It was physically like a keyboard that you, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right, because you're trying to make it that much harder to crack it.
Because I was able to crack any passcode. I was very good at it. But
the FBI should hire you.
I completely agree.
Abby's like, I've applied.
But like, that is a red flag if their passcode is not a numerical code, or if it's more than 4 digits. Like, why?
Mine's 6.
I know people would, well, I know what your password is, so I understand why it is 6.
Yeah.
But unless, like, people might argue, like, oh no, like, my passcode's difficult because of work, like, blah, blah, blah. Unless you work for the FBI.
There's no reason.
There's no reason.
I agree. 100%.
You're just sketchy.
No, 100%. I agree with that. I think it's sketchy. Also, like, even getting away from like the phone itself and like what you're doing on it. So like, I think that, and this is like, okay, this is if you've been with someone for a few months. So like, let's say you're dating a guy or dating a girl for 6 months and they have not posted you on their Instagram or on their Snapchat. I think that's a sign of like sketchiness, shadiness, red flag, whatever you want to call it.
Because why are they hiding you?
And when I say post, by the way, I will like make a quick little edit. I know there's a lot of girls out there. They're like, I don't post my man on my Instagram. Like my Instagram is my, like, what was it that you saw? It was like, it's
like my business profile.
Yeah, it's like this is my profile about me. It's not about like I don't attribute, like I'll give you like a mention in a story, but I won't give you like a post. I respect that
because people like that's their aesthetic feed. Like they don't want to like ruin it like a guy, which I get. But
I also get there's a lot of girls out there that like are like influencers or whatever, and they're like my Instagram's like an aesthetic thing. I don't want to post a guy on it, which I respect. Also, a little thing, which this might be looking at a relationship the wrong way, but if every post of yours is with a dude and then you break up, what do? Just like delete your whole Instagram?
Right.
Not that like, then the guy's probably like, oh, so you think we're going to break up? But like, that is a valid concern.
It is a valid concern.
Yeah. I don't know. So I get the posting. I'm talking more like stories. Like if you're with someone and it's like you guys are on like a romantic getaway together 6 months into your relationship and he's like taking pictures of like the palm trees, but you're not in any of the photos. I think that's sketchy. Or like you're out with a big group of people and he's like snapping everyone and like taking a big video, and then before it gets to you, he just like ends the video.
Or he goes over your head.
And around it and just puts an emoji over it. Like,
or I think if you constantly tag him and he never reposts your story on his.
Right. And this one, I don't think it's so much as like, oh, like he has like a secret girlfriend somewhere else.
He could.
He could. I definitely think that could be part of it. It's like he's dating someone. I also think it could be like maybe he's not over his ex. Like maybe he's not ready to post the new girlfriend because he's still in love with the ex. I think that could be part of it. Or maybe he's just out there talking to a bunch of different girls and he doesn't want the other girls to know that he's like,
he's got
kind of settling down. Exactly.
Yeah. He doesn't want people to know he's off the market yet because maybe he's not sure about the girl.
100%. Also, these all apply to girls as well.
Oh yeah,
this isn't just, we're just saying guys because we date guys, but like girls do the same shit. 100%.
Wait, I know we're trying to digress from the phone, but one thing I just thought of is ghost mode on Snapchat. I gotta go back to Snapchat. Yes. Or not even just ghost mode on Snapchat, but their location. But in general, like, I think ghost mode, I feel like people don't really use Find My Friends anymore. I feel like it's kind of just like the Snap Map. But if
people use Snapchat for the Snap Map to like locate people.
Yeah, absolutely. But if they constantly turn it on and off, yes, that's sketchy.
That's so sketchy. So sketchy.
It's fine to not have it on. Like I don't have my Snap Map on.
Yes.
But it's not like I turn it on one day off the next. Like
if you are turning your Snap Map on and off, like you are a terribly shady individual. I don't care what your reasoning is. Like there's just no reason for it. Because like you said, if you have it off, like I've had mine off for probably 3 years. I have no idea how to turn it back on. I just don't know. If you have it on 100% of the time, obviously not sketchy. If it's like going on like a Sunday afternoon and then Friday hits and it's like off until 4 a.m. and all of a sudden like you're back in your apartment, like that's creepy because it's like deliberate. Like you want the person to know like, oh, look at me, I'm home, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, where'd he go? He's just like dropped off the face of the earth.
Oh my God. Wait, can I share a funny story?
Yes.
Okay. So one time I caught a guy lying to me because of Snap Map.
Stop.
Yeah, so we were supposed to hang out, and he told me that he couldn't hang out anymore, and I had already known that he couldn't hang out with me anymore because I saw him on Snap Map getting further away from Boston. I was like, where the hell is this guy going? And I was like waiting to hear from him, and he like tells me that he can't hang out tonight, and I was like,
oh my God, I remember this. Because so Abby was supposed to she was supposed to have like a date night with this guy. It was just like, it was gonna be like your first or second date or something.
Yeah.
And literally, I remember you texting me and being like, okay, so he said that he's in the city, but I see him like his car is moving further and further north. And this has been happening for like 2 hours. So at this point, this guy is like 137 miles away. And then finally he texts her and it's like 7 p.m. He's like, oh my God, so crazy. Like,
can't hang out.
I don't know if I'm going to be in the city after all. It's like, bitch, you've been like 4 hours from the city for like 6 hours
and then
now.
his Snap Map turned off like the next day. And I was like, you fucking bitch.
He figured it out. Oh my gosh, that is classic. I've had, so some of my guy friends have reached out to me or Michael or whoever, and they'll literally be like, yo, like, can you check the Snapchat to see if you can see me right now? Can you check the Snap Map? So like people out there that are like, oh no, like people don't actually do this. Like they do. Girls
and guys aren't
do
as
this.
dumb as we think.
Like they are pretty dumb, but they're like smart enough to get that down, to take themselves off. They're like, yo, I told this one girl that like I couldn't hang out tonight because I was staying in, but then I really wanted to go hang out with Amber. He's like, so can you check to see if I'm on the Snap Map? And like he wasn't, and he was like darting over to Amber's house, and then the next day he's gonna turn his Snapchat location back on where he's gonna be in his home, so that Hillary was like, oh,
and he's gonna be like, oh, my phone died.
Oh, my phone died. It's so crazy. It's so weird. I was in all night. Loser. Also, the other thing about boys is they're so unoriginal. It's always the same shit.
I know.
I'd be dazzled if someone like came up with like new material
or an elaborate excuse.
Yes,
because I feel like girls come up with elaborate excuses and guys just like come up with the first thing that comes to mind.
No, I agree. Like I think if a guy like bought like a second phone and like enabled his Snapchat onto that phone and like left that phone like in his room and then took the other phone with him, like I'd be impressed. I'd be like, okay, like that's
genius,
right? Like buy an iPhone like 5,
Nanos?
like an iPhone 8,
iPad Nano.
for like $50 on eBay. Download Snapchat on it, turn on your Snap location, put it in your bed, take your other real phone, turn off Snapchat on that one, and then just go out and do whatever the hell you want.
Did you just like
you're
come up with a genius plan?
I know. I'm like enabling.
No one do that though.
No one do that. But like,
that's
if you want to do that, you can.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I don't know where I just went, but it's okay.
Yeah, Shannon, come back.
Or like if you even have like an iPad, like everyone has an iPad, just put your pull up Snap Map on your Snap Map on your iPad, and then just go off for the night.
Frolic.
Yeah, frolic around.
Delete Snap Map. Anyways.
Okay. Anyway.
Wait, this was not supposed to be how to be sketchy.
No,
this is how to identify sketchy.
This is how to identify it. We're rooting for the wrong team.
Okay, well, we digress. Okay, wait. Back to the girl that submitted that. I think something key that she mentioned is that like he's like not even like hot and cold, but like he's around and then he's not, and then he's around and then he's not. Mm-hmm. Like he disappears and comes back. Like where is he when he's gone? Yes,
like who is he with? What's he doing? I've had we've actually had a few girls over the past like few months reach out to us saying like, I've been dating this guy for a while and like all this, it's like he'll only hang out with me like certain days of the week.
That's a red flag.
Or like, yeah, like he'll never hang out with me on like a Friday night. It's always like a Sunday, just like weird shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the best advice I have is like, if your gut is telling you something's a little strange, it usually is. Most normal people like have explanations for things and they're like, hey, like I work during the week and like I might hang out with my friends on Friday and then I'm free. But like if there's always like a weird pattern where it's like, he will never hang out with me this day and like his phone's off, like won't reply to me. Like there's usually a reason for that. And I think it's usually sketchy.
Yeah. Like if he only hangs out with you on a weekday and never a Friday or Saturday, like huge red flag.
Yes.
It's because he's hanging out with other girls.
Exactly. Like if he's only hanging out with you like during the work week and then all of a sudden all the weekends he's always gone, or like maybe some weekends he's around but like others he's just like his phone's off. When I was in college, one of my best friends, who's now like in a relationship and like happy, but at the time she's single, she meets this guy. They started dating for the summer. Things were getting pretty serious. Like we thought that they were going to be like officially dating and stuff by the time that we like met up back at school. So she's dating him all the summer. She's having so much fun. She's like, I really like this guy. He's awesome. There was a few instances where like he would randomly throughout the summer, like there'd be like a weekend where like he just would disappear. Like she couldn't text him, like couldn't call him, like straight to voicemail, like almost as if you blocked her number. And then he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was with my family all weekend. Like we were at the freaking, I don't know. He was like, we're at the Cape in some town that doesn't get service. And then my phone broke. And then my little brother like took it and hid it and whatever. I'm kidding. He didn't say that. But like basically came up with some like big elaborate story as to like why he couldn't text her that weekend. And she was like, okay, little weird, but like not a big deal because he was awesome. And at the time we were younger and more naive and we were like, okay, whatever, he's a great guy. So they're talking all summer and there's like a few times where this shit kept happening. And then one day she's texting him and he's like, okay, so like, please come over tomorrow. I can't wait to see you, whatever. And she's like, okay, can't wait. Text him the next day. She's like, what time do you want me to come over today? Doesn't answer, ghosted, blocked, done.
Blocked?
We end up finding out that this loser little wiener was in a relationship the whole time. His girlfriend was gone for the summer. Like she was whatever, like living in like another city for the summer. So those random weekends like was when he would either fly out to see her or she'd fly home to see him, that he'd like block her number. But for the rest of the time he was like talking to my friend. And then when like it was the summer was over, basically he was just like, all right, I'm just gonna like never text this bitch again, just blocked, done. And like literally he didn't even like try. Like the next week it was like Instagram, his girlfriend's back, like she's like, oh my God, reunited, can't wait. And
oh my God,
right?
If he was smart, he would have just changed her contact name. Like there's no need to block her every time the girlfriend's in town. Like, do you know how many times like I've known girls that have either done that or it's happened to them where literally like they don't want the person they're with to know that they're texting someone or vice versa, and they find out that, you know, their boyfriend's texting Chad who's actually Sally.
Yeah.
But he just full on blocked her?
Yeah, he just blocked her. He like didn't even care. But I do agree with the contact names one. I think that's a classic. That's a classic move on either party. Like changing Michelle to Michael and Patricia to Peter. It's just like, it's just Peter. I feel like that's just like the oldest trick. And the funny thing is whenever someone's doing that, they think they're being so sly. They're like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just make this like a girl's name. That way he doesn't know that I'm texting another dude. But he's all of a sudden he's gonna be like, yo, why is your friend Emily, who I've never heard of before, calling you at 3 a.m. every night? Like, I feel like people are gonna figure that out. But people always think they're genius.
I know.
You know what I heard someone do once with that? That's actually really smart.
What?
They change the contact name to mom, because that way it's like if you're getting a bunch of calls from your mom, you're never going to be like,
yeah, why is your mom calling?
Yeah, like it's like, oh, your
but if your mom's texting you, when are you coming over to fuck? Like, what the? Well, it's actually not your mom, but it appears to be. That's a red flag.
Or like when you have 2 mom contacts in your phone and you text the wrong one. Like that's horrible. Okay, bad idea. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do any of it.
There's
don't
too much room for
I just
error.
think like, yeah, I think this just goes back to the fact that like we were saying boys and girls, like they do the same shit. I just feel like girls are more calculated, because I feel like a guy would like change the contact and be like, oh, like instead of Cindy, I'm gonna make it Chad, like haha. And then like the girl's gonna be like, well, like who is Chad? Like, I've never heard of him before. And he's gonna be like, oh, like I don't know. I feel like a girl would have like a whole backstory. She'd be like, oh yeah, this is my friend like Jessica from like camp that like lives in Idaho, and I haven't seen her in 10 years, but like our families are really close and like we catch up all the time. Like she'd have like a story.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, you're right. Girls are way more calculated. They think further in advance, and like they have a backup plan for their backup plan, where guys, that's when they surrender. They're like, you caught me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Except guys are just idiots and they just be like, oh, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. No.
I feel like that song was made because like I feel like that's how stupid boys are. Like,
it wasn't me.
Say it wasn't you, dude. Just say it wasn't you. It's like, it's you. I see you.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think this is another really big one. So when they always come over to your place, but you've never been to their place, or maybe you have it like once and it's like very fleeting.
Yes. Okay. So that is a huge red flag for several reasons. One, there could be a girlfriend at home. Duh.
Yes.
That's like
definitely
the first
lives with
thing
his
that comes to
girlfriend.
mind.
100%.
But I can speak from experience. Literally, like, so another reason why you might not go to their place is because he doesn't want his roommates to know that he's A, cheating on his girlfriend, or B, talking to you for whatever reason.
He's like hiding you.
And I've literally been in that situation where literally they're like, all right, let me break the news to my roommates. And I'm like, why? Why does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
there's like a one reason or another why they don't want you at their place. And I feel like in the beginning, I mean, I get it. Like I've been in relationships with people where maybe it's like more convenient to go to like their apartment, or they have a nicer apartment, or like whatever.
Never seen their place.
Yes, but to like never ever to never see their place. Like if you are dating someone and like you never have them over, like you're 100% hiding something, whether that be like you have dead bodies in there and you're a serial killer, or like maybe you're like your wife and 3 kids live there. Like, I don't know. Or maybe it could be as simple as like you like are seeing someone else and maybe don't even live together, but maybe you don't want the girl to like show up randomly, or maybe you don't want the roommates to know that like you're, like you said, that you're like cheating on your girlfriend, or that you're doing something sketchy.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a reason for it. So like,
yeah,
I would pay attention.
You need to see their place because you need to go through their medicine cabinet. That is like, oh, when Mr. Man and I became official, you best believe I left my pink toothpaste holder in his medicine cabinet, like everything girl related. I was like,
oh my god, you are like the girl from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Like on date 2, she shows up and redoes his entire apartment and just puts like pink shit everywhere, and she's putting like tampons and like
oh yeah, there's tampons in
everywhere.
His medicine cabinet.
She's like Vagisil, like
there's girly body wash in his shower.
Classic.
Oh yeah, it is very evident that a girl stays over.
That's like a classic marking your territory.
Oh yeah.
You know what's funny is,
but you need to check a guy's medicine cabinet to find out if he has a girlfriend.
That's so true. You do, because that's something a guy is too stupid to think of.
Yes,
like
guys don't think
he
about
wouldn't
that.
think like, oh, you know what? Like if she might open my medicine cabinet and see that like all the girly stuff that I have, and like, why would I have this?
Right.
That's true. You know what? If you're listening to this and you are talking to a guy and you're scared that maybe he has a girlfriend, or maybe
break
he's being
into
sketchy,
his house.
Break into his house.
Look in his bathroom.
And then just open up his medicine cabinet. It's simple. It's simple.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And if you want to mark your territory, just do it.
You know what's funny is I feel like marking territory is always like supposed to be like a guy thing, but girls do it way more. Mm-hmm. I think. Like how would a guy do that? Just like bring over like a bunch of smelly underwear and just chuck them around.
And you get my dirty underwear, and you get my dirty underwear.
Hey babe, here's my laundry. I feel like that's like the equivalent, except that's like what they do for their moms. I don't know. I think with the not bringing them around like their apartment, I think just in general hiding from your friends, like
never meeting them.
Yeah, so like you're dating a guy for a while, and like let's say he's met your friends a few times, met your roommates, but you've never met his friends, you've never met his family, and not in like a creepy way where it's like, oh, like I want you to meet my mom and dad. But even if you're casually dating, there's never been a time where he's like, oh, I'm going out with my friends Friday night, you should meet up with us. Like, never happens over months and months. Like,
he's hiding you.
That's a red flag. Mm-hmm. Creepy. He's hiding you.
He's hiding you.
And I don't care if he's bringing you to like the most romantic places.
He's hiding you.
Or if he's like, you know what? I'm not even really like that much of like a friend person. I never really hang out with them. Like, no, he's hiding you. He has friends.
100%.
Yes.
Back to the house thing though. If he never stays the night.
Oh,
because he has to go home to his girlfriend.
Yes. I feel like that's one that people don't ever really think of, especially in like the.
Yeah, I feel like people like will like chalk it up as, oh no, he doesn't stay the night. Like if it's like early on, which this could be true, but like some people just don't. You are more developed, like they don't want to sleep over because they don't want to get attached.
Yeah, or some people are like, oh, like I just like sleeping in my own bed. I feel like that's a big one. Like, oh, if you really like the person, you will deal with the one crusty, dusty pillow and like the disgusting comforter. Not saying that that's Mr. Man's bed at all, but like I know that some girls would prefer their own bed. Yeah, vice versa with guys too. I just think like if you would put up with it. If you're in a relationship, it's a lot easier to be like coming home at 2 or 3 in the morning and being like to your significant other, oh my god, I was just out late with the boys, or I was out late with the girls, or whatever. Versus like if you stay over, what are you gonna say? Like, oh yeah, I just got a hotel because I just felt like it. Yeah, or like what are you gonna say? Or like I crashed on Johnny's couch. And it's like, well, why? Yeah. And then guess what? She's already called Johnny and she knows that you're lying. And now you're on trial for murder. So it's too late. No, I feel like that's a big one. I think if someone's not staying over and it's been like maybe, you know, like I said, 4 months, 5
more
months,
well
like,
developed.
you know, maybe not 2 weeks in, but it's been a while. I think that's a red flag. And I think that you should like try to trick them into staying over and like see what they do.
Put some like Dramamine in their like water.
Drug them. That's so smart. Actually, I love that.
That's illegal, but we're not telling you to
Dramamine
do it.
is illegal, or some
Drug
NyQuil.
someone?
Or you could just, you know, you could say it's like, I was concerned about you. Like you looked like you were having an allergic reaction. So I just
Dramamine's
grabbed
for
your
motion
mouth.
sickness. That's Benadryl.
I know. I said NyQuil.
Oh.
Or Benadryl.
Or Benadryl.
Either of the drill, any of the drills, really. Just be like, hey, listen, like you looked like you were coming down with a cold. I had no choice but to grab your face, open up your mouth, unhinge your jaw, and just dump a bottle of NyQuil down it and then just let you sleep it off.
Oh, God.
Doing the right thing.
Yeah, good luck explaining that to your girlfriend.
Oh, classic. Okay. Well, I feel like there's a lot more, but
there is, but I
we
think,
can't go on forever.
No, we truly could, but I think, you know, we're not going to name any names who submitted this, but thank you for submitting this in, because it really did open up a lot of doors. A lot of doors. A lot of doors that I think we should address, because, you know, cuffing season is around the corner.
It's upon us.
Summer is slowly coming to an end. It's not over yet, but you know, it's mid-August, and you guys need to be woke for cuffing season. We don't want you guys to be talking to shady people. Yeah,
and if you are a shady person and you still don't want to talk to shady people, that's okay. You've earned the right to not want to do that. But yeah, so it's about that time when you're looking to slim down the roster a little bit, maybe get it down to 1 by the fall. I will say though, if you are talking to someone and you're legitimately like concerned about whether or not they either like are dating someone else, or maybe they're just like a player and they're not ready to commit to you. Again, I will say, I just think that like when some people just are sketchy, it's just in their blood and that's just like who they are. So there's usually a 0% chance that you can do anything to change that. Like even if you catch them and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Like they're probably just going to do it again and just be smarter about it next time. So I guess word to the wise, before you do develop any real feelings for someone, like on a serious note, just end things with them. Like if you're talking to a guy and he claims that he likes you and it's been a few months and like he's being wicked shady and sketchy and like can't really account for his whereabouts, like he's a sketchy person. Just like dump him, move on. I know it's easier said than done.
You're gonna save yourself a lot of real heartbreak later on.
Yes,
like I just nip it.
I know so many girls that are at this point married, and it's like they've been with these guys that like they probably know realistically, if you were to sit them down, they probably know that they're sketchy and shady and cheating on them. But they like, it's almost like at this point, it's like, well, like, you know, we're married. But it's like, they're still doing that shit. You know what I mean? Like, they don't stop.
There's
so
plenty of married people that are shady.
So many.
It's a shame. You should listen to your gut. At the end of the day, listen to whatever your gut is telling you.
And your friends.
And your friends. Yes, because your friends aren't love blind like you.
Exactly. And if you do like have a pretty strong feeling that the guy you're with is being sketchy, I recommend get proof. However you do it, whether or not you have to. You talked about this earlier. The boyfriend's sleeping and you take his thumb and use his thumbprint while he's not aware of it, or like hold his face up to it while he's asleep. Like whatever you got to do, get some proof that he's being shady, and then confront him in person where he has nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Don't text him. Make him have a full-on confession to you in person. Slap him across the face. Slam the door behind you. Get on Tinder and you'll be back at it. Back on the saddle in no time.
Absolutely.
Just like that. I don't know.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Drinks After Work with the girls, Shannen and Abby. If you liked what you heard, follow us on Instagram. It's at @drinksaFterWork_. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, subscribe or leave us a review, 5-star review.
5 stars, please.
Yes.
And everyone that's listening this weekend, pay attention to the sketch balls out there. Also, let us know if you have any stories about talking to a guy or a girl or whoever that was extremely sketchy. You found stuff on their phone. Let us know. We definitely want to talk about this topic again and see what responses you guys have. Thank you so much for listening every single week. We love you guys. And we'll see you next week, baddies.
Bye.
Bye.
We usually have a call.
I know.